Hello, Professor Alatori. My name is Crystal Boyd. This is my informative speech on autism, and this is for Craven Community College. Hello, everybody. My name is Crystal Boyd, and I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about autism. And autism is one of the spectrum disorders or pervasive developmental disorders. It's one of five. And the reason why it's called a spectrum disorder is because it affects individuals in varying degrees. On one end, a person may be high functioning, and to the untrained eye, you wouldn't even know there was anything wrong with them. And on the other end, the person may not be able to function at all and may not be able to communicate. And according to the Autism Society of America, 1 in 150 Americans are affected by this disease or disorder. And in the pamphlet that I handed out, it had stated that there's 1 in 166, but since that was printed, it has jumped from 1 to 1 in 150 Americans being affected by this disorder. And they estimate about 1.5 million people being affected by this disorder. And in North Carolina alone, the statistics say, according to our local chapter, that right now there's 30,000 people in North Carolina that are also affected by this disorder. And what it is just a developmental disability, like I said, that affects your ability to communicate and interact with others. And there are several red flags that indicate that a child may have autism. One of them is repetitive motions. I've seen as a caregiver in the classroom, like repetitive motions like flicking in front of their eye, a lot of rocking back and forth or from side to side, repetitive language, which is called echolalia, where they repeat certain phrases over and over and over again, like they might get a phrase from a TV show and repeat that one phrase over and over and over again. And it's not necessarily their own words, but they're just repeating what they've heard. Another one is sustained odd play, where they don't really play with toys exactly the way that they should. You may see a child that has a truck, and they're not interested in rolling the truck. They're more interested in turning it over and just turning the wheels of the truck and not necessarily playing with it. And these are in no way just a certain indicator that this child has autism. It's just a red flag to say, okay, if several of these things come together, then maybe that child should be looked at by, some trained professionals to see whether or not they might have autism. And the Autism Society is a good organization that has helped, a lot of parents and stuff to make a final determination whether or not the child has autism. They provide resources for them, just help someone to talk to. They, provide a network for other parents to get together and say, okay, my daughter or my son has autism, or even the individual themselves may be a part of the group and say, well, as an autistic person, this is my experience, so that it helps, other people. And there has been several debates about what causes the disorder. A lot of people say it's immunization. A lot of people say it's genetics. Some people say it's environmental factors. And some of the environmental factors may be something that the mother may have ingested while being pregnant, or something that she came in contact with. Genetics may play a factor and play a role, saying that the child is more susceptible to getting it because they have another disorder or underlying disorder that may cause them to be autistic or found to be autistic later on. Like I said, it usually appears from the ages of 1 to 3. And I work with toddlers, so I've seen it a lot on the job. I know I've worked there almost 5 years, and I've worked with probably 10 to 15 children that were diagnosed with autism at some point in my care. And it is more commonly found in boys for whatever reason. But 1 in 94 boys are affected by autism. And some of the celebrities I know that have kind of put a face on autism is Toni Braxton. Her son Diesel was diagnosed with it. Jenny McCarthy, who's engaged to Jim Carrey, her son Evan was diagnosed with it. And also Holly Robinson Peete, her son RJ, was diagnosed with it. And they all three are boys. And then RJ, which is Holly Robinson's son, he was a twin, and a fraternal twin. His sister wasn't affected by it at all, but he was. And I have worked with a lot of parents who have had a lot of trouble dealing with it, and we have training curriculum specialists that have come in to help them and provide them with resources to kind of help them to get through it. And like I said, it affects individuals from varying degrees to the very high functioning to the very low functioning ones in society. And according to the Autism Society, it costs about $3.5 to $5 million to take care of a person that has autism. And it has sparked several debates, and especially with the immunizations in itself. And the Center for Disease Control has issued a statement stating that immunizations in no way have caused autism, and it is more dangerous to opt not to immunize your child, because that will cause more harm to them than good. But then some of the other parents who agree that immunizations cause it say, what do you expect them to say? Because if they admit it, then they're going to have all these lawsuits on their hands. So it's kind of a tough situation, and people have been battling it out for years on what they think causes the disease. But like the things that we do know is just that it is on the rise, and that it affects more boys than it does girls. And the society, like Autism Society of America, are doing their part, or playing their role in trying to help parents and telling them that early intervention is the best way to help a child that has autism. So to put them, with people that can help, and trained professionals that can help. So I hope that I've said something that has made you more informed or more aware about autism and its effects on children.